Webmasterradio.fm proudly presents the longest-running program on affiliate marketing. Welcome to Affiliate Buzz. Our hosts, James and Arlene Martell, are here to inspire, inform, and motivate you with expert insight, interviews, and information that will increase your bottom line. Advance your affiliate marketing efforts every week on Affiliate Buzz. Now, please welcome James and Arlene.
Yes, this is James Martell, and welcome to edition number 482 of the Affiliate Buzz, where we've been keeping affiliates inspired, informed, and motivated to succeed with affiliate programs since way back in 2003. If you're joining us live here today on webmasterradio.fm, it's great to have you with us. If you happen to be joining us through a podcast on your smartphone, tablet, computer, or Wi-Fi radio, a very special welcome to you as well. Arlene is away today, however, not to worry. I have a very special guest joining us, Captain Tony Valentino. He's a yacht captain, a local customer acquisition specialist, and I would classify him as a serial entrepreneur. And today we're going to be talking about something Tony and I talked a little bit about yesterday, actually, during one of our sessions, and a simple plan for earning $10,000 a month serving local businesses. We're going to talk about how to earn $200 to $400 an hour without leaving your desk, how you can use your skills that you've learned in the affiliate marketing space to serve local businesses, how clients can be found, and how you can outsource all of the work to low-cost freelance professionals. And I know longtime listeners know I'm a huge fan of outsourcing. And just generally how to have a happier and more profitable 2018, something I'm sure we all desire. Now, Tony has been studying internet marketing, search engine optimization, and web design for well over a decade. Tony's learned how to develop very high-quality websites that market to the right audience and drive profitable traffic. Tony has a degree in electronics and considers himself an academic geek. And as Tony says, when he's not helping local business owners, he enjoys cooking and entertaining friends at home with his wife, or relaxing with a fine cigar over a good conversation. Tony, it's such a pleasure to have you join us on the Affiliate Buzz.
Well, thank you very much, James. It's an honor, and it's great to be here.
I have to actually begin this, if I may, by asking you, how did our paths cross and how long ago was it? Because I know you and I have been interacting through the web for many, many years now.
Yeah, well, you know, we've kind of asked that question of ourselves a couple of times. I actually went and looked it up. June 30th, 2007, I signed up for the Affiliate Marketer's Handbook, James.
Okay.
That's how we found each other.
And that's a while ago. So now that's just over 10 years ago. And yeah. I know you live in Florida.
That's right.
And before we get into talking about serving local businesses and, you know, having a happier, more profitable 2018, tell us a little bit about your background. I know you're based in Florida, but currently you're in the Bahamas. Tell our listeners what you actually have been doing for a living, because I think it's a pretty cool profession.
Okay, all right. You know, I'm a yacht captain. It's you know, I just say it's a glorified chauffeur. I just happen to work on a boat. You know, and I take people around, you know, show them nice beaches, and, you know, we tramp, we follow seasons, we go north and south as the seasons change. You know, that's what I've done. I've done that in different parts of the world. And it's coming up to 30 years, a 30-year career.
And currently, I understand you're in the Bahamas?
That's right. Yes.
And I was just going to say, what are you doing in the Bahamas? You've been there a little while now.
I have been a little while. I've just finished up a contract on a vessel that I was out here on, and I'm just packing up, tying up loose ends, and I'll be home. I plan to be home back in sunny Florida over the weekend.
Now, I know you and we had a chance to meet in the online conference last night with others who are part of our SmarterLocal program, and we had a good conversation, and we were talking about all kinds of things. And I always enjoy getting together on the Tuesday nights to have those conversations. And one of the things we talked about last night was clients in the local marketing space paying $1,000 a month for, a smarter local, one of us, to take care of them and help them with their businesses and help them drive more customers and revenue. And I want to get into that in detail because I do know there's a lot of people that have been looking at the Smarter Local program and they're kind of wondering if this is for them, and they've got some perceptions of it that I'll be out schlepping around the town and I'm going to have to be walking into businesses, and it's not like that at all. So I want to get into a lot of that. But before we do that, let's take some time, if we could, and talk a little bit about the market. And you are a yacht captain, of course, as you mentioned, but you've mentioned to me that you have been looking for ways to, I think you said, work a little more closely to home. And of course, the local marketing angle was something that was of interest to you, and you're very much a Smarter Local Partner now, and very much a part of that. And we always appreciate you having in the room. But talk a little bit about what you're looking to obtain by focusing your efforts, because you come from the affiliate marketing space as well. But by shifting gears a little bit and serving local businesses, give us what you see out there as far as the market potential.
Sure, absolutely. Well, in my case, as a yacht captain, you can appreciate that I'm away from home a lot, and for long periods of time, as we just mentioned that as well. But not only that, in between contracts, there's a lot of idle time. Idle in the sense of earning money potential. When I'm not working, I don't get paid. So at about 2007, when I found you, I was looking for something to fill in the gaps. And, I started with affiliate marketing, like you said. But I found that local businesses, just through, I'll give you an example. Sitting in my hairdresser's chair, I mentioned, do you have a website? And she said, yeah, and of course, does it do anything? No. Would you like me to look at it, please? And, cut a long story short, they're just overly joyed by the difference that we can bring as a skill set, and getting people found online. So what I've been able to do, what I see coming, to answer your question a little more directly, I see myself phasing out more and more of that kind of part-time gig, where it's been a part-time gig, and phasing into being my mainstream. And I'm very close. In fact, I'm seriously considering 2018 to be my breakout year.
We know, being involved, I say you and I, and any of, I would say our listeners who've been around this space for a while and who've been working with websites and SEO, domain names and content creation, content calendars, content marketing, video, audio, all the things that we do and that we've had the opportunity to learn over the years. And then also layer on top of that outsourcing, where we've got literally an unlimited or seemingly unlimited talent pool of low-cost professionals available to actually do the work for us. Many of us have picked up quite a education in the online space, and I know you're one of those people as well. I mentioned that in the intro. What I'm finding most interesting is how not only transferable what we've learned from the online world is in more of the larger picture, because most of us are used to marketing more nationally, even internationally. When we get into focusing in on a local market, take a local business like that hairdresser, how have you found your skills have transferred from, say, the affiliate marketing quote unquote space until the local marketing space?
They've translated over very easily. In fact, James, we've picked up a skill set, and when I say I've picked up the skill set through you, to be specific, with the courses that we've done over the last 10 years that I've done with you. But we have a skill set where people with local business are in, they're in great need. And when you bring those skills, to the table, and you kind of put it out in front of them, you show them what you can do. Not only that, but then you actually, go through and follow up and put some of those skills to practice. it's they're very grateful. I got to tell you, they're very grateful. And I found that just word of mouth. Like I say, I've had you look, the last guy was my a fencing contractor. I had there was some wind damage over down here in Florida just recently, and I had a contractor come over and install repair and install a new fence. I asked him the same question. You got a website? Does it do anything for you? Do you need help? And he couldn't jump quick enough. At basically sitting down, scheduling a meeting, and seeing how we could how I could put my skills to his use.
One of the things that I've noticed is very similar to that. That's different today than it was, say, 5 years ago, definitely 10 years ago, but even 5 years ago. Business owners weren't that receptive back then, and to the whole internet thing, they were actually quite resistant. I would say pretty much as a whole. Of course, there's always the trendsetters out there, the ones that dig in, the early adopters, but generally I was finding most business owners were just not interested in this thing called the internet. In fact, they were quite annoyed by it because it had changed fundamentally the way they promoted their business, because earlier they would be yellow pages and newspapers and radio, maybe if they could afford it. And all of a sudden, all the eyeballs shifted away from that to this thing they call the internet, which they're a little bit intimidated by. They really have no education or grounding in. They don't know how to tackle this thing. Meanwhile, they're getting phone calls from overseas with promises of number one rankings and, just oversold promises that were not realistic, and some of them would get pulled into that, and it didn't work. So they were kind of just not there. But today, you look at things that are happening in the marketplace that really have many of their attentions. Companies like Amazon, and we've all been watching Amazon grow, and they've become an absolute giant.
Absolutely.
In the marketing space. And this has got some business owners, I would say, pretty concerned, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. The brick and mortar businesses, absolutely. Understand.
And there's this word out there that's been bantered around, and I even heard one of the local business owners say it recently, and it's called showrooming. And that's where somebody will go to the local business or a local business, touch and feel the product, play with it, see if they like it or not, and then go home and order it online.
I'm guilty.
I'm guilty too, I gotta say. So that's a bit of a problem. So what I want to do is kind of talk about that, and then talk about, those are not typically, though, the kind of customers that we're looking to attract. So I want to talk a little bit about the type of customers that we're actually attracting, because those are not the people that are really. There are companies out there that are, if you were selling running shoes and things that you can easily order from the net, that's going to be a little bit different. But we're talking about a lot more different types of customers who are a little bit more not so internet prone to the competitions of the Amazon types, but still they're facing competition from other competitors. So it might be a chiropractor. We've got a great chiropractor client over in Victoria. It could be a local pub, Sawbuck's Pub, where I happen to hang out. We handle all their marketing as well. Or maybe it's a nursery, Highlands Nursery, highlandsnursery.com in Wexford, Ireland. He's a local client of ours. Or John McNamara owns dolphinworld.org. He's a local client of ours as well down in the Florida area. So there's those types of businesses that are not really battling the Amazons, but they still have competition. And what I've found, and I know you found it as well, applying what we've learned in the affiliate marketing space, which again is usually more national, into a little local market, would you agree that it's so much easier to actually get a big win for these local businesses because of the knowledge that we have?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd emphasize that, over and over. And you're right. I'm going to go backtrack a little bit to what you said, and that is, where once upon a time people were feeling that they, didn't need or didn't have to rely on the internet. That landscape is all changing, and it's changing fast. And people are becoming more savvy to the fact that there's, there are streams of clients, streams of customers, that are basically searching for services and products online, in a local scenario. We've all been there. I've been in the store, and I'll look at something on the shelf, and I think I like it, and I'll pull my smartphone out, and I'll compare prices. I'll see who else, within 10 miles. I'll do a radius scan within 10 miles, a price check. We're getting mobile. We're getting mobile, and we're getting online, and I think. I think business owners are catching on quickly that they need to compete in this arena.
They are. I found that too. And let's talk about how we find those clients. You mentioned your hairdresser and the fencing company. And I know I've had a chance. I want to talk about the Smarter Local Marketing podcast too, that you've helped me co-host on a few episodes in a bit. But let's talk about how we find clients. One of the things that I've noticed, anytime the same I guess experience that you've had, if I start talking to someone, let's say I head up to Sawbucks and I start chatting with somebody. In fact, I got one of their cards on my desk. His name's Rob. He owns Rob's Heating. And he's a heating company. They do furnaces, they do HVAC systems, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems, and that type of thing. And I just started talking to him. And funny enough, he thought I was actually in the whale watching business because I help a buddy of mine do all his, or kind of launch his whale watching business, and I wear his t-shirts once in a while, so he thinks I'm part of that, which I was in a marketing sort of way, but I don't own the company. So we got to talking. So what do you do? So I started to explain to him what I did, and of course that naturally led into him needing more customers, and that's usually the way I got to get my internet space. I got to get this sorted out. I'm not getting enough calls. So we kind of just start talking about that, and word of mouth is great. Referrals, the chiropractor in Victoria, vfchiro.com, came from another chiropractor that we did business with, or do business with, down in California. So lots of referrals come around, because like anything, if you do a great job, they will refer their friends typically. But other ways that we've been fortunate to find customers, I know in the case of Cindy Small, who's also a Smarter Local Marketing Partner, she sent out some postcards. And I know I had a chance to help her land her first client who purchased 2 websites and a monthly maintenance program to the tune of $19,000. And I had a chance to talk at length about that on another Affiliate Buzz, and I'll put a link to the show notes on that. But talk about, I know we always talk about different ways to bring in new clients and find new clients. And there's postcards, there's Google AdWords, there's Facebook ads, there's word of mouth, there's referrals. What is your primary focus? Because I know you've been working on this, and I know you already have clients. But where do you think you're focusing for 2018 to find clients?
I got to tell you, I've got the word of mouth is a really powerful. It's been very big. It's been very powerful for me. In fact, I just got a call. We did the podcast, James, together on the fuel delivery company. They called me this morning. They just called me this morning. For some updates, and they got something else they want done. But the Chamber of Commerce, just getting out there, getting the word out there. Business groups. Meetups, local area meetups, very, very big pools of people who are hungry for new and more business.
I can see we are up against the break. Sorry, Bresco, I wasn't paying attention to that. So let's do this. I'm here with Captain Tony Valentino, local customer acquisition specialist, and I would call him a serial entrepreneur again. And when we return, I want to talk with Tony about how much we charge for our services and how much money we actually make on the end. And we'll get into some more detail on how we get the services actually fulfilled by outsourcing them to those low-cost professionals, freelance professionals that I mentioned earlier. Okay, we'll do that and more right after the break.
More Affiliate Buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
Are you looking for the best in WordPress speed, security, and scalability? WP Engine is a digital experience platform for WordPress, powering digital experiences for large brands around the world. With easy-to-use site management tools and powerful do-it-your-way development features, WP Engine gives you the flexibility to build it your way. Improve your SEO and conversion rates with a faster site on WP Engine. Learn more on WPEngine.com.
St. Jude continues to advance by increasing cure rates in childhood cancer, and donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. When it comes to research and advancements, there are some things that only we can do because we have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Catholic Charities is committed to providing life's basic needs.
We thank you for bringing us all here today, letting these people understand how Catholic Charities runs and how important these people are. And we ask you to guide them, to protect them, and keep them here forever because this community needs them.
Visit www.catholiccharitiesusa.org to learn more.
Start your search engine and put your servers into overdrive. It's webmasterradio.fm, steering you into the winner's circle. Webmasterradio.fm, we're everywhere.
Time now to hear some more affiliate buzz on webmasterradio.fm. Here's James and Arlene.
Arlene is away today. However, I'm here with Captain Tony Valentino, and we're talking about a simple plan for earning $10,000 a month serving local businesses. Now, Tony, let's kind of take that apart a little bit and talk about some of the clients. And I could throw some of mine into the mix as well. And maybe we'll talk about Cindy's new client, Dr. Timothy Brown in Ocean Park, British Columbia, and he's a naturopath and a chiropractor. And one of the things that I helped her do was, as I said earlier, was close a couple of sales with him. And he's got the practice, and he's got a partner who's a massage therapist, and they both needed a website. And we're currently in the process of just finishing up Dr. Brown's site, and if I may say so, it is beautiful. And if you go have a look at his existing site now, you'll probably be able to tell if it's the new site or the old site, because it's currently the old site, and you'll find that at oceanparkhealth.com, I believe, oceanparkhealth.com. But in his particular case, a website was $3,500, and then it's $1,000 per month over a period. Actually, in his particular case, let me take that back. It's $500 a month for the maintenance program that he purchased, and then with the second website, there's another $3,500 and another $500 a month. So if you add those up, $3,500 plus $3,500 plus $1,000 a month combined for a year is $12,000. So there's a $19,000 sale. And because we outsource everything, literally, to low-cost freelancers overseas, generally, we get to keep the lion's share of that. And what people say, well, how much of that do you actually get to keep? Well, our cost on that is typically between 20% and, if you splurge, 25%. So we're talking about walking away with 70% or 75% of the fees that are collected. And Tony, you've seen this with the digital marketing space, because we're not really inventorying any product and we're not having to warehouse anything. And these are, for the most part, digital with a little bit of labor that's very inexpensive now. What's your experience about profitability when you service your clients?
Well, that's that's got to be one of the best things about this industry: profitability and portability. Because if I do it from a boat in the middle of the ocean, I'm just going to point that out. Okay, so and profitability, like you say, no inventory, digital, everything's digital. Absolutely. Outsourcing. The only costs I really have are what I decide to outsource. To get work done for productivity. But no, I think the return on the profit on the investment is one of the best things about this business.
I would agree with that. Now, and portability. Thank you for bringing that up, because I do know a lot of times when we're talking about serving and servicing local businesses, that we, as I mentioned earlier, that we have this vision of wandering into these businesses locally. And I do that with a couple of them here. One of them, actually, not a couple. Sawbuck's Pub is just because it's my local little pub and I love the place. And we happen to manage all of their marketing for the last 6 or 7 years. Other than that, I don't go I don't visit the businesses face to face. I do everything from my desk with a web conference software program such as Zoom or Skype, so I don't have to actually go visit them. So and you bring that good point up. You're doing this from a yacht out in the ocean, servicing local businesses. So talk a little bit about the dynamics of that.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, there's obviously starts off with a meeting of the minds, and we do that in an online conference room, similar to what we're doing now, Skype, that type of a thing. And it's basically a collaboration all over the internet. The beautiful thing that we have here, beautiful tool that we utilize, and I don't know. I'm just going to say it's not a difficult thing. It's just, people seem to understand that, like telecommuting, these days. So it's a different way of telecommuting. And we just seem to get the job done. It's not a hurdle. It's not an obstacle. I don't know. It just works, Jay.
I actually prefer it too, because I find, or have found in the past when I sold advertising many, many years ago, when you wander into a business, even if it's a booked meeting, you're competing with that business owner's for that business owner's time, and you'll be talking with them, doing a presentation, and the phone will ring, or something will happen and they have to go away, or somebody walks through the door, a customer comes in. There's all of these distractions where I find if I can get them away from that a little bit, get them in front of a computer, I don't have to worry about, do they have internet access there? Can I get on their Wi-Fi? All that stuff. I can sit in front of my machine and I can manage the environment as long as I can get them in front of their computer. And everybody, for the most part, has a computer these days. And then I can do the presentation. And I find a lot of these small business owners have never used this type of technology to do screen sharing and be able to do a presentation. So they're pretty impressed just from that angle right off the bat. And then we don't need to spend a lot of time. We're not having to, get all dressed up, drive to their location, pay for parking, walk inside, do all of that. We can literally have a 15, 20-minute call, then we're off and on to the next thing that we're working on. So I find it's very easy to get a lot done in a very little bit of time, because you're not wasting any time out there schlepping around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit more to that. Then, we call it, the Smart Local and Smart Local Partner program. It doesn't necessarily mean local to where I am. That's not what we're talking about here, right? We're talking about local to our customer. So it doesn't matter where I am. I can market to people, in any area of the world. As a matter of fact, shout out to Olive over in London, England. It really is. It's a remarkable system. It's a remarkable, a strategy. And we've got all the tools and resources right here. And we've certainly got the demand.
I know, and thank you for the shout out to Olive. She's a SmarterLocal Partner in London. And let's talk about what happened in the conference room last night, because this was interesting. We got Tony and Kelly, married couple in California, and they were doing a presentation for a real estate group of, I think it was 8 offices, all in one group. And I would say, I think it was Jose that came into the private Facebook group, posted the message that say, "Hi, I just did this presentation, and I would, can we get together and brainstorm on this, on how I should best tackle this?" And why don't you talk about how that unfolded? Because I think it was your idea to get us to add that to our conversation last night, to kind of talk through how it might be best for Jose and Kelly to position that sale in front of that real estate group.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello out to Jose and Kelly as well. It was a great conversation last night. You referred to it a little bit earlier as well. Fabulous conversation, and it was a real meeting of the minds. A lot of people brought in great suggestions, and, we kicked it around, and we come up with a roadmap. We come up with a roadmap about how to go forward, and for all of us, not just for Jose and Kelly, but, I think we kind of illustrated that we could all expect clients just like that. That was it's a very sizable client that Jose and Kelly approached, and we all expect to get similar. So we mapped out some things, and we're collaborating on on how to handle that, how to approach it, and how to put it together for the client.
Had a few great aha moments, which are always fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about the Smarter Local Marketing podcast. This is a recent development, and we've recorded now 8 episodes, and you can, for those listeners that want to take a peek on them, I'll give you an address in a moment, but I guess we don't need to tell the audience here that we believe in podcasting, because considering we are on a podcast. But I thought, for the Smarter Local Marketing program and partner program, that it would be ideal to put a podcast together where we could get the partners on, as I call them, to join me on the show as a co-host, and we kind of rotate through everybody. And we now have, I think it's 8 episodes are live. There's a couple more in the can, and there's another plan for, this is just going to be an ongoing show. But your experience with podcasting, you're an avid podcast listener, as am I, and you've now had the opportunity to join me for a couple episodes on the Smarter Local Marketing podcast. How do you see that rolling out as far as a tool to drive new business to your door?
Oh, that's easy. I think I explained it to you just last night. I think I may have made this comment, and that is, if I'm given a choice, if I arrive on a website and I'm given a choice, and there's a podcast, that's the first place I'll click on. I will download the podcast, and I will definitely listen to it, either right away. If I don't have the time right away, I'll listen to it, sometime later. Second would be video. I enjoy watching videos. I like short, obviously, like everybody else, and third would be, text, the traditional type of text blog. Podcast, I think podcast is a very powerful, think about the portability. Just like I said, I can download it on my phone. I take it with me when I go for my walk, and I'm on the treadmill of an evening. I've got my earbuds in, and that's what I'm listening. I've been listening to your Affiliate Buzz podcasts for years now. It's an honor to be here, rather than an audience. I'm on the other side of the mic. But no, look, I think podcasts are very powerful. Completely underutilized, James. I really don't know why we don't see more of them. Maybe I'm going to put the question back to you. How did you stumble upon podcasting?
That's an interesting question. Well, if we go back to, say, the fall of 2001, I was putting together what was to become one of the very first ebooks, and turned into be one of the first $1 million sellers. And over the year, we had students from all over the world who would be phoning or emailing. There was no Facebook, of course. There was none of the social tools that we have now, per se. So it's difficult to communicate with literally thousands of students. So one day, Charles, who I know he and I were having a conversation early on, and he goes, "You know what? I wish we would have recorded that. Your students would have loved to hear it." And he goes, you can almost hear the little ping. He says, "Leave this with me for a week. I got an idea." He comes back a week later, and he presents me with this idea to do a twice-a-month audio newsletter called The Affiliate Buzz, where we could keep affiliates inspired, informed, and motivated to succeed with affiliate programs. That was our tagline then. It still is to this day. And that was kind of it. The term podcast hadn't been created yet, so this was now 2003, and we figured it out. This was probably one of the first 3 podcasts that began. So that but it was an outgrowth of the book and the need to come up with a method to be able to communicate to, at that time, my readers, my students, and then it just kind of grew from there. And it's been just an amazing thing. So when I was looking at the Smarter Local program, it was like, we've got all of this talent, Tony, yourself, Olive, Jose, everybody's got great stories. Everybody's in the field talking to, or on the phone in the conference rooms, talking to potential clients. And I figured, we could put a podcast together where we could focus on sharing real stories of online success that local businesses are having with our Smarter Local services. And It's just been great, and I could see the potential is going to be just huge, because the nice thing about a podcast, of course, is by the time they've listened to a couple episodes and then they decide to send you an email or book a discovery call with you, they're already warmed up. They already know what everything's about. They're calling you. You're not trying to find them. So it's very much an inbound marketing strategy versus outbound. And you've got a nice, warm potential client there that is, pretty much, usually they have a few questions. They already have established they have the need. They're just trying to find somebody to trust with their, the marketing of their business. And I find podcasting is such a no-brainer when it comes to being able to position partners as an expert in their marketplace, because listeners, of course, business owners, in this case, local business owners, get an opportunity to listen, and then they can tell that we all, for the most part, I would say, really know what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love the packaging, as I say, download it for later, refer back to it as many times as you need. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's quite a story. That's quite an aha moment that you guys had.
Yeah, it was. I get my hats off to Charles for that. He was, or still is, very much a trendsetter. He's a visionary for sure. He can see where things are going. And for listeners that want to have a little peek at that, you can head over to Smarter Locally. We'll give them Olive's website, smarterlocally.co.uk, because I know she's got all of her episodes up. And I believe you do too as well, don't you? smartlocalbiz.com. I have.
I'm just about to put the last one, number 8 up.
Okay, so smartlocalbiz.com. That would be Tony's website. Head over there, have a look at it. You'll see the podcast episodes, and I would encourage listeners to have a listen to those episodes and try to put yourself in the mindset of you're a local business owner. Pretend you're a local business owner, and you're looking for a way to find customers, more customers for your business, because nobody doesn't need new customers. I find everybody needs increased revenues, and they need easier ways to bring new customers and clients through the door. And listen to the podcast episode with Tony, if you would. It's number 7, how one small website tweak exploded sales and changed everything for this local business. In fact, why don't you do us a real quick favor, spend a minute on that and talk a little bit about that story, because it's such a great story of what Smarter Local type services can really do for a business.
Yeah, sure. Well, typical thing, they were a service that I was utilizing. And I asked them the question that you folks have heard now. Do you have a website? And of course, the answer is yes. And we went through the stages. It doesn't do much for them. And would they mind that I take a look at it? Well, do they need help? And they said, of course. And yeah, it changed. Well, it changed their business model quite a bit. They had a problem. I'll try and give you the condensed version, and that is they had the problem where people were calling in to place orders. The phones were ringing off the hook. They had 2 girls just answering phones, and what they were getting other, just fielding questions. People were calling, since they had a live person on the phone, they were trying to, bargain prices and a lot of other things. Well, we managed to change all that, with their website. We put an order form on their website, something they never thought about before. We did a few other things. It just really streamlined their business, and now they got one girl that really just schedules the delivery of the goods. So yeah, it's made quite an impact to their business. And as I say, they just called me this morning for some more work. They got something else in mind, and they want to go to another level.
Yeah, and that's another very common story is once you have the clients, Sawbucks, as I mentioned, I've had them, been working for them for years. Dr. Cale Copeland in Victoria at vfcairo.com. We just put a brand new website together for him. That one's actually live. So if you want to head over and take a peek at that, that's vfcairo.com. You can take a peek at that. And we handled all of his SEO work for probably 3 or 4 years now, helped him build out his email audience, quite a number of things we've done for him. And they do have a tendency to keep coming back if you take care of them. And of course, they refer their friends and associates as well. So let's talk about another little aspect we have to help close sales, because that's really what it's about. It's finding leads, generating leads, and helping to close up sales. And one of the things we do on the 4th Thursday of each month, which happens to be tomorrow. In this case, it's as of this recording, it's November 29th, a Wednesday. So on the fourth Thursday, which again, to make it a little more complicated, this because Thanksgiving was this year, we're doing it on the 5th. But we hold a monthly Smarter Local webinar where Smarter Local partners can invite their prospects to come into the webinar, and I'll actually do the full presentation on their behalf, and then of course pass them back to the partner. So why don't you? There's another great opportunity to come together as a group and basically be able to maximize our time by focusing everybody on one webinar per month to drive new customers and find and to close prospects and turn them into customers.
Absolutely. I forgot to mention that earlier, but it did come to mind during the discussion. But yeah, another great vehicle that we have, where you put a lot of work into the websites that, that we have with, and people can drop in their email to book a seat and reserve a seat to attend the webinars. And yeah, absolutely. We have it plugged into, different tools like, an email order responder and follow up with them. It's another place where, as a group, we come together. Our Facebook group as well. Our Facebook, where we get together on Facebook, James. That's another way that we all get together. But yeah, absolutely, another tool that helps us all as a group collectively. We move on and get those clients.
You betcha. Now I'm here with Captain Tony Valentino, local customer acquisition specialist and serial entrepreneur. And after a real quick break, we'll jump into talking a little bit about actually how the services are fulfilled, how much time needs to be spent working with a particular client, because it's not nearly what some people think, and maybe a little bit more about who our ideal clients are, and then what it takes to become a Smarter Local partner. We'll do that and more right after the break.
More Affiliate Buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
All of your favorite WebmasterRadio.fm programs on air and on demand 24/7. Find our shows on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, and anywhere you download your podcasts. Add some podcasts to your playlist as part of a better profit margin. More refreshing talk radio on air and on demand 24/7. Only on WebmasterRadio.fm. We're everywhere. There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
What is us?
Us is a foundation.
Us is the future.
Us is a bond.
But right now, that bond is frayed.
And we need a place that could make it whole.
From diabetes prevention to safety around water.
The why fills the gaps.
And bridges our divides.
But they can't do it without us.
Donate today.
Because where there's a why, there's an us.
Read by members of the why.
The why, for a better us.
Time now to hear some more Affiliate Buzz on WebmasterRadio.fm. Here's James and Arlene.
Arlene is away today. However, I'm here with Captain Tony Valentino, and we're talking about a simple plan for earning $10,000 a month serving local businesses. And I want to talk a little bit more about those numbers in a moment. I think, though, let's talk about 2018 for a second there, Tony. Of course, 2017 blurred by again. I don't know what's going on, but they say the older you get, the faster time goes. And now that I've got grandkids, I'm watching them grow up, and my little brand new granddaughter, who was just born, is now 7. And I'm looking at this, it's like, and then there's Hannah, who was 3. She's about to turn 4. And then there's Colton and Calvin, and there's just like, they're going even faster than our kids grow up. It's like, oh my goodness, here we go. So every year now, it's like, okay, we're going to make this year better than the last year. And 2018 is right around the corner. And I know, before we get into talk a little bit about actually how we break down and the kind of money that can be earned without killing yourself. We may be doing it part-time, even as you've been doing it. Let's talk about who our ideal clients are. I want to make sure we nail that down, because we're not really talking about customers or clients for ourselves who are up against the Amazons of the world, where they really are seeing some of their market drop out of the bottom locally because people are going online. Maybe they're being used as a showroom themselves, and that's being really painful. And I feel for them, but those are not our clients. Typically, I've always said the type of clients we're looking for earn enough money per sale, or they've got a high enough return rate for their customers that one or two clients can typically often pay for all the services that we provide to them. So I'm always looking for clients, maybe landscape companies, funeral homes. Crazy enough, we got a great funeral home as a client. Plumbing companies, mortgage brokers. What type of customers are you targeting or not?
Yeah, all those kind of services and contractors, James. Those people who kind of rely on on the local pool. The people that we're not looking for, that having a harder time competing with Amazon. Like you say, the electronic stores and the mattress. I've got a mattress store that's closing shop because of the competition from Amazon specifically. But no, just about anybody else, anybody that needs local customers. And I've got a favorite new saying, and one that you taught me, and that is, we're looking for the yeses. We're looking for the people who are looking, and that's something that I find really refreshing and a lot easier to work with. And there's a lot of people looking, for talent, for help. And as you say as well, the other way I kind of qualify a customer is, I take a look at and I try to figure out what, or I ask them, what one customer is worth to them, and how many of those customers they might get per month, and pretty easily, it's not a difficult thing to justify our compensation, our monthly compensation, and I find that it comes together.
Let's talk about, if you would, a little bit about, as we wrap this up, what's included in the SmarterLocal Partner program. And I can rattle off things like the website and sales funnels and the partner portal and the business cards and all of the collateral and stuff that we've created, the social media for everyone, even the branded book that everybody has. But from your side of the equation, what do you see that we really bring to the table for partners?
I'll tell you what I really enjoy, and that is something like what we had last night. We were talking about the session, just everybody pitching in, collaborating, voicing their opinions and, their expertise. Some people think they may not have, anything significant to contribute, but there always is, and it kind of surprises themselves sometimes. I hear in their voice, but that's what I get, James. I get the community. I get the people. I get the buzz from hanging around with people with a like mind. We have similar intentions. And then picking each other's brains. We're in a situation here where there's no competition amongst us. And in fact, it's the opposite. It's very helpful. And that only backs up all the material that we get from you, and it's in the hardware and everything that's online, everything's there. But I think it's more the interaction with the group, James. That's really what I enjoy about this.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you. So let's talk about who this would be best suited for, because I know this is, of course, not for everybody. Like nothing is, and I'm always looking for people who are personally committed to their own success, who are, obviously have some time to dedicate to this and have a desire for developing a successful business. Those are a few of the things that I look for. But what do you think somebody should be? What type of people are we looking for to join us in our group?
That's I wouldn't I wouldn't, I'd encourage, just about anybody to look in at least. It's not difficult. Here's the thing that I learned. I found that this got a lot easier for me when I finally accepted outsourcing. And again, I had a great teacher. Thank you, James. But that's when everything got easy for me. When I got the resources to outsource and just what it meant, that's when everything kind of worked. Everything clicked. Things exploded. I could take on anything, just about. Whatever a client or customer's wanting. I could look them in the eye and say, yeah, I can do that. Or my network can do that. And so I would say the kind of person who maybe has an open mind. You don't have to be, a tech guru or anything like that, but an open mind, willing to learn, likes technology. That always helps. I don't know. And interested here. And I've forgotten to mention, but of course the customer. We're servicing people, so if you're orientated towards servicing and genuinely trying to help people, that goes hand in hand. That's always a good too. It's very satisfying to see, the success, other people's success, and especially when they, when they edify you because of it.
Yeah, there's nothing more gratifying than being able to help a business owner, whether it's an affiliate or a local business owner who is maybe struggling a little bit, I find, and just a little tweaks or a little help here and there can really make a big impact on their business. And back to that podcast you did, how one small website tweak exploded sales and changed everything for a local business. I'd encourage listeners, if you're interested at all to learn a little bit more about that, go listen to that podcast. And again, it's SmarterLocalBiz.com. That's Tony's website. And I'll make sure we've got a link to that in the show notes for the Affiliate Buzz here. And have a listen to that again through the eyes or the ears of a business owner who's really looking for some help and really needs to drive more customers. And they have things that keep them up at night, and we can help them sleep better, which is really a truism. So we can do that. So I can see we are out of time. Tony, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. We're right up against the clock. To our listeners, if we've piqued your interest here, I've got some special offers for you that you can just reach out to us, send an email to helpdesk@jamesmartell.com, and Arlene will be happy to set up a quick call between the two of us to discuss if the Smarter Local Partner program is a fit for you. All right, so Tony, thanks again, and to all of our listeners, thanks for listening to another edition of the Affiliate Buzz.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of WebmasterRadio.fm's management or sponsors. Any rebroadcast or redistribution without authorized consent of WebmasterRadio.fm is prohibited.